Hello and happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Coco with your girl Coco. I just want to take a moment to give myself some kudos for those that are watching because I made the intro video myself and it looks very good on the big screen. I am very happy about that. I have been getting into my creative bag again lately and I have been producing some good content. And the hope is that eventually I won't need a producer because I can do it all myself. And we are inching closer and closer to that for obvious reasons.
You can't do
But
this
welcome.
without me.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't do this without me.
As always,
No, it was fire though. It was fire. I gotta give props. I give you props. Here's your applause sound effect. That's right. You know how that sound effect is made? You know how that sound effect is made? It's layers and layers of me doing this.
Layer of you?
Yes, it's all my claps.
Those are your claps?
Yes, that's the kind of production you get when you come with Cam Beats.
I don't believe you.
And those are the kind of lies you get when you get Cam Beats as a producer.
I don't believe you. You need more people.
You didn't hear what I said?
You said, wait, say it again?
I said, and those are the types of lies you get when you get produced by Cam Beats.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah, you did.
Good job.
Yes.
That was good. That was good.
Killed
Now,
you.
before we go any further, I just want to bring attention to my shirt today because today my shirt says this, that, premium.
Look who's back.
Hello.
Look who's back.
We have missed you so much. Very understandable, believe me. But we have missed you. Now, not that I haven't communicated with you since, but hey, girl, welcome back to Facebook.
There's another Brit that I thought was you.
Yeah, he thought my other friend was you. But it's so good to see you, girl. I hope all is well. I hope you took the break that you needed. But we was gonna get into me for a minute because I look good today. But I just want to try to see my shirt. My shirt says this, that premium chocolate, okay? Not that chocolate that you buy at the store. I'm talking about that chocolate that you know who Amari is? Amari is the French guy that be on social media and he's a chocolatier. He be making a chocolate and then he make like the sculptures and stuff. It's that type of chocolate.
I was
today.
gonna say like Hershey's.
No, this is not store-bought. This you got to be whipping it up with the cacao and the.
Have you ever had a Toblerone?
I have, and I did not like it. I didn't finish it.
That's premium Swiss chocolate.
That's premium Swiss chocolate, and I didn't like it.
So you don't like you. That's what you're saying. That's okay. You can love yourself though.
This is the kind of show it's gonna be today.
Toblerone is fire.
You know what that remind me of? Bring back breakfast sandwich.
All right, that was the candy bar.
We had a whole candy situation, and I'm still standing by my almond joys. I'll stand alone, honey.
Love the shirt.
Thank you. Period. It's that premium chocolate. I just want people to see the way the chocolate is coming up on the screen and on the woo. Yeah. But let's get into it today. As you see from the title of my episode, we are going political today. Okay. And we're going to do the best we can with this. But I feel like it's very necessary for us to do this because we have a very important job on our hands. And
you might want to actually discuss a disclaimer of sorts so that if you are one that is a Republican Trump supporter, that you might not enjoy this episode. That's the disclaimer.
Yeah.
Get out while you can.
I think so because you know what this is this a black job?
I don't even understand.
We're doing a black job this evening.
All I know is every damn job I ever had was a black job because my black ass was there.
Black as hell. But yeah, like he said, this might not be the spot for you unless you realize how that's not a good decision and you are looking to make a better choice, an informed choice. Then you're welcome to stay. But
this episode is more on the CNN side than on the Fox News side. How about that? There
you have it.
There you go.
There you have it. So I usually have a mood song, but I don't have a song today. In the interest of the show that we are going to be doing today, I was scrolling social media because I've been doing a lot of research. I wanted to make sure that I came from an informed and educated perspective on this evening. I ran into a post today that I didn't even really think of from this perspective. And when I read it, I was just like, oh my God, like I didn't think about it like that. And damn. So that's going to be my
Like damn, she how move. Like damn, she
my
how
news
move.
segment for today. So I'm going to read it to you all.
Why your buttons work on your show? But continue.
Well, considering the last few shows when it didn't, I think I deserve this.
Okay. Wasn't sure if it didn't on yours. It always gives me problems on Peep Game. But
I know
continue.
that. Oh, I noticed that. And it waits until you go live. To,
I test them all beforehand. You didn't even
Well,
test
guess
them.
what? I am praying over the buttons that when they get used again by Peep Game on Monday, that they won't have any issues.
Tuesdays, 5-7 p.m.
Well, yeah, because you record on Monday.
Yes.
And when you do use the buttons and it works, then I need my credit because I prayed over them. So the post says the narrative that Black women saved the country is tired because it always centers whiteness, when in reality, all we have done is try to save ourselves. And when I read that and I think about this upcoming election, we hear the narrative all the time how Black women have this job that we didn't ask for, and we are saving the world, and we are usually at the bottom of the totem pole. So it's like, here we are again, and I've heard it, and now I'm really seeing like this thing might, Black women are probably gonna have to step up once again and save this country. And when she wins, because I'm confident that she will, it's going to be a black woman as the president saving the world. So it's almost like we can't escape this thing. So reading that, I was like, wow, I didn't think about it from that perspective. And it's like, it's sad, but we also really don't have the time to be like, it has to be done. So we got to do it like we always do. But it's like, damn.
I'm gonna let you have that.
Okay, what do you think?
Because it's the woman's season, and I am celebrating Black women. I just think, in general, it's a Black cleanup because in history, every major city that has hit rock bottom has elected a Black official when it's at its bottom to try to pull it out. If it's Chicago, if it's Detroit, if it's Baltimore, if it's DC, if it's Atlanta, if it's Los Angeles, it's New York. It's always a Black person who has to dig it out of the doldrums. And then you go all the way down to what Obama came in at the bottom of the economy being where it was and brought it all back. I mean, we are always faced with the worst. And Kamala's not any different. She happens to be the woman that is in charge now. And, I think she's the person for the job. I think she is.
So we're going to get into it a little bit. And we might be a little all over the place, but the common goal is for people to really know what we're up against, because now is not the time for playtime. Now is the time where we really have a job to do. And if we don't come together and do what we're supposed to do, we really don't know what this world is going to look like. And I don't know about anybody else, but for me, that's terrible.
You going right into it? I thought you were doing Olympics.
I was doing what?
Oh, the Olympics.
No, remember I told you that was going to be at the end. I remember I said I changed it because what I was going to do before, I didn't want to do it no more. Because then you said, oh, it wasn't that bad. I saw it. Remember? Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I need to find me a production class or something because this ain't gonna work. Anyway, let's talk a little bit about what's been going on the last couple of weeks. So, as you know, the RNC came and it went. The Democratic National Convention, if I'm not mistaken, is next month in Chicago, and they are expected to announce Kamala Harris as their why am I blinking? The
nominee.
Yes. They're expected to do that. To a lot of people, this was a surprise. To some people, not so much. But the surprise came in as they didn't expect Biden to drop out so soon and in the way that he did for whatever reason.
Unprecedented.
Yeah.
It has never happened.
Right. And I don't think it's really clear as to why he did. A lot of people are speculating health related issues, which I mean makes sense. I don't know how old he is, but I mean, we know that he's up there.
81.
And so maybe he just came to a realization like 4 more years, I don't know if I got it in me. And honestly, I'm not mad at him. I'm glad that he came to a realization now as opposed to coming to that later. Cool. And it seems like with him making that decision, her kind of coming in was right after, and it's like, all right, now we're going ahead and moving forward. She has there's been a lot of backlash over the last I don't even want to say 4 years. It's actually been a lot of backlash, I would say beyond 4 years. I think that we're just hearing about it now once she got elected as vice president. So what I would like to do is let's take a step back into who she is, right? So let's throw me up. Kamala was born in California. She was born to her mom, who is both her parents are immigrants. Her mom immigrated here from India, and her dad immigrated here from Jamaica. Her mom actually came here when she was 19 years old. I'm not exactly sure how old her dad was when he arrived. And they arrived to California. Her parents met at the University of California, Berkeley, if I'm not mistaken, and they actually met in a Black student group. So her mom had an interest in the group and everything that they stood for. And so, of course, they welcomed her in as a person of color. And that's how her parents met. Her parents were very into the civil rights movement, the marches, very boots to the ground. They even had, once they had Kamala and her sister, they were at marches and they were all in. So very early on, their parents instilled in them the importance of, freedom and rights for all people. From there, Kamala graduated. She went to Howard University. She is an AKA as well. And she graduated from law school in California as well. In 2004, she became the district attorney of San Francisco. And then in 2010, she became the attorney general, I believe, of California. And I could be getting that wrong, but she was an attorney.
And actually, I told you wrong. She had, you corrected the district attorney thing. So she was district attorney of San Francisco.
Yep. So she started off district attorney in 2004 and then went on to be the attorney general of 2010 of California. Now, her being the attorney general, y'all know how big California is, and they have like the largest judicial system or something. I could be saying that word or that term wrong, but they have the largest one in the country. And so in the roles that she played, a lot of her decisions within those roles have always been questioned. And honestly, there's a lot of people that didn't care for the way that she handled Black people during those times. Now, what I have heard recently, and this is my first time hearing it over all of these years, is that what we have known to be true and her record and all of those things were actually indeed not true. And there have been several breakdowns as far as what the reality was with her prosecuting, and kind of the way that she handled things. Now, one thing that I did learn that I didn't know is that when it came to some of the like policies and the things that she implemented while she was serving in her position, when it came to people that had, like, say, for instance, first time drug offenses, she had developed a program to help them get their high school diploma and receive employment as a way for them to be I'm looking for a word. I don't know why I'm blanking out. What is it when you get out of jail? And
reform?
Yes, reform. Yeah. Yes. So she had a lot of programs.
So she was helping?
Yeah, she actually
was helping niggas?
She was actually helping. One of the things that people said that they didn't care for was she had an anti-truancy law. So basically with that, well, what happened is, and really just how they do here in Milwaukee, I think, and you can correct me on that, or Wisconsin in general, but if your child has a certain amount of truancies, it puts the parent at risk for being incarcerated.
Yep.
And so basically people were like, oh, that's wrong, that's this and that. And it's like, well, your kid has to go to school. And it's unfortunate that it has to get to this point, but I mean, your kid has to be in school. So those are kind of just a few things that people have kind of had issues with. Now, you might be able to explain this better than me, but I know I watched a TikTok video and they were saying that remember we talked about the 1,946, like that number.
Mm-hmm.
So she prosecuted them, or I don't know how to word it. I don't want to word it wrong, but they were basically trying to say that she was prosecuting like Black people at like large numbers for very like small offenses or something along those lines. And so I think that they said out of the 1,946 people that have been charged, there was only 45 of them that were convicted. So there was like a half truth told there. So it's like, no, she's not just sending all of these people to jail unnecessarily. It's there are stories behind them. And number one, let's be very clear. If you are into something illegal that you know that you aren't supposed to be doing, then you take the risk of going to jail. That's typically how it works. And the judge and the district attorney, like, nobody is obligated to not put you in jail because you're Black. If like that if you don't want to go to jail, then you have to not do things to send you to jail. And I might sound like a shitty person saying that, but I it's something that I believe it to be true.
If I am an individual who sells drugs to people in my community, I sell drugs, and I know that the risk of selling drugs is that I can get put in jail, or that's a risk. That's one of the risks. You can go to jail or you can die. I guess the third option is you could survive. Like, those are the three. You have three options. If I know that there's a law that comes out and says, hey, if you are selling drugs in your community and the likelihood of you getting a higher sentence is very high if you get caught, and you continue to do the same thing,
it's like, what do you want me to do?
What? I warned you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it ain't like all of a sudden they just woke up one day. Let's get these niggas
and just ended up in jail. Like, that's just not the way that goes. And now, I mean, you have those judges and those district attorneys. I mean, I feel like we've seen it all over social media where they have people that come in, the offense is not as violent, and they do whatever they can to try to help them. Like, we get it. But that's not something that they're always going to be obligated to do. I'm trying to scroll and see if I can find a video. I was thinking about that video that came from that Black guy that was going all over social media, like over the last week. And he had broke everything. Wait, is this it? He had kind of broke.
You send it to me?
No, I didn't send it to you. He broke it down so good, and he really helps people understand it a lot better. I can't find it. If we find it throughout the show, then we'll just go ahead and put it up. But, and the reason I'm saying all of this, mainly, one of the other things that they're saying about her is like, oh, she's not Black. She's not Black. I just explained her history. Her father is from Jamaica. Her mother came here from India. She has always embraced her Black side. She has always, like I said, it's how this is how her parents raised her. Like, civil rights movement, like, in the mix. I don't even know why this is a conversation or a thing at this point of where we are. Like, why are we focused on, oh, she's Black, wait, is this it? Yes, this is it. Here, I'm about to send this to you. Mm-hmm. I just feel like we have a larger task at hand, and we don't have the time for that. Like, let's talk about these policies. Let's talk about the values. Let's talk about, okay, if she is elected into office, what can we expect from her? I do realize, and I think I would be remiss to not realize, that over the last 4 years, I feel like it hasn't been as visible as we're used to seeing vice presidents be. And when people say that, I get that perspective, but that doesn't mean that she wasn't doing anything behind the scenes. I think about vice presidents in the past. I think, what was it, Mike Pence? I don't remember seeing him a whole lot. I don't remember seeing him, you know, often. Just because we don't see you don't mean that you're not doing what it is that you need to do in the background. All I can hope is that she had to have been doing a good enough something for him to endorse her and for so many people to be like, yes, this is a great decision and here are the reasons why. Something had to have been going on. Now I hear people talk about the lesser of two evils, right? And she is not somebody that I view as being evil. So I can say from that perspective, I don't understand why that's being said. Have you heard people say like the whole lesser of two evil thing? I don't know if they're calling her evil because like the whole prosecutor thing.
No, they're calling her evil because of that. They're calling her evil because of the fact that they think that she's pandering to black people and pretending that she's black when she has never. They say that she's never said it, and that they quotation marks in the air behind they are rolling black people in front of us to excite us so that we can get excited to vote. So we'll vote for anybody who they'll throw in front of us. Those are the woke perspectives. You want to show the video now or no?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's look at this. I think that this is a very helpful and useful information for us. So we are going to watch
victim misinformation in our community. Kamala Harris, for years, I've been told, hey, she put thousands of black men in jail unjustly for marijuana charges. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. So for years, I didn't like her because of that. Then last night, because I was bored, I sat down and I said, well, how many thousands? 10, 20, 30,000 dudes? So from 2004 to 2010, Kamala Harris was the district attorney for San Francisco. And in that time, she had several convictions for marijuana charges. Her total amount was 1,956 people. And you might say to yourself, that's not thousands. I know, because even less actually went to jail. The number was 45. So for years, we've been told, hey, she's locking up black men left and right unjustly for weed charges, when in fact, not really. Now, I will say, in 2010, when the bill came up for them to legalize weed, she sat on the sidelines. 2016, she did the same. She didn't come forward and speak publicly about it until 2018. So, just to give you a little fact checking, Kamala Harris isn't responsible for locking up thousands of black men for weed. I don't even know where that came from. And I tell you right now, honestly, it came from the internet. Somebody told me, I heard it, I didn't do any research, and I just ran with it. And that's my fault. So, hopefully you learn something and you don't do the same. Let's go, Kamala.
I like dude.
And so seeing that, when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, like that was all I had heard that whole time. And I didn't go and look and research to try to see if it was true or not. I heard it. I kind of went with that, and it was what it was. And so this is why it's important when you hear certain things to actually do your due diligence and do the research on your own, and don't just take it at face value, because this is a perfect example of how, like, we were wrong. The internet was wrong. And that's unfortunate, because this whole time, like, it had just allowed time for people to have this narrative that, unfortunately, for some people are it's going to be stuck unnecessarily, and that's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I do want to. I'm not gonna, like with the disclaimer earlier, I know that I gave like a real background of her just so that we can know who she is, where she came from. Not gonna do that for the other side, because who cares? I have been thinking about this. Hell.
He's a friend. He's a friend of Epstein, so that's all you need to know.
I mean,
that's all you need to know.
I really struggle to understand, and maybe I struggle to understand because I'm literally not around people who openly admit to supporting him, because I think at this point people know, like, that's just not the thing that you should be openly admitting. I really don't understand what people see in him. I don't understand what people have seen him do and say to make him be like, yes, I want him to be the president of the United States. Everything that I have witnessed coming from him, coming from out of his mouth, coming from any situation that he's been involved in, has been absolutely disgusting.
Is this perfect
And
segue?
I'm really trying to figure out what is it that people are seeing in him. I don't like this is not a popularity contest. Let's look at the policies and let's look at like the values and stuff. That alone and knowing what he stands for and what he believes in. This 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 is who y'all want to be the president of this country? Like I really do you know anybody who openly admits to like supporting him and like giving you a reason like why? I don't know anybody.
Nothing, like not to my face. I mean, I've read things, and I've seen comments, and I'm like how other people are generalizing representation for if you are for Kamala. I'm not going to do the same thing for our Trump supporters. Although I don't, just like you, I'm really confused by like really smart people who support him. Like if you are a very intelligent person, you hear him talk, you be like, yeah, that's the one I want representing me. Like I like that. I like the way he uses that vocabulary. Lies. And it's a felon.
And it's a felon. Y'all trying to have a felon be the president of the United States? How does that doesn't even sound like to me.
How about this?
That doesn't
As a person with 34 felonies allowed to run for president, he can't even vote for himself because felons can't vote.
and this is who y'all this is I'm pulling up something because we're talking about policies, right? And I think that a good segue right now that we hadn't talked about before this is talking a little bit about Project 25. It is a very extensive document, and it goes over some of the changes, I guess, that are going to come along down the pipeline if this individual becomes president. Now, on his side, his supporters have been saying that, oh, he doesn't support that. That has nothing to do with him. That's basically what they're saying. Do I believe it? No, because everything on here sounds like it aligns with him and what I've seen him say and do so far. So, some of the things that are on this list, it says a national abortion ban, restrict IVF access, family separation, Muslim ban, tax cuts for the ultra wealthy, replace civil servants with MAGA loyalists, guns in classrooms, order prosecution of political opponents, which pardon January 6th insurrectionists. So, with me as a woman, a black woman raising a son, a black son, the thing that strikes me, first of all, is you're telling me that I don't have control over, or I'm not going to have control over what I do with my own body. So the control goes to the government, and you tell me what I can do with my body. That's basically what you're saying. So it says that they are looking to reverse the FDA's approval of abortion medication. They are looking to compel states to report the reason for every abortion performed within their borders, and then allow states to ban employers from providing health benefits that cover abortion care. And not just that. I think in Project 25, it mentions getting rid of birth control, which will also include Plan Bs. There is something in there that will prevent women from getting a DNC. Let's say, for instance, after she gets a miscarriage, or say, for instance, a woman has an ectopic pregnancy. You're basically saying that she has to live with that because you've banned all of the options that she would have. That's inhumane. How that alone, like, that's the thought of that is absolutely terrifying. Just to take away all of those options, like, this is my body. That it's wild. and that's just a small part of it. I think I heard something today that where it said replace civil servant with MAGA loyalists. I forget what I heard. I think I was listening to Breakfast Club or something else. They were saying that he was looking at like full government employees from certain entities and replace them with Trump supporters, basically.
I haven't heard that before, but
I heard it for the first time this morning. Of course, with immigration, they'll be allowing ICE to conduct raids on schools, churches, hospitals, etc. What else is on here? It's just one big thing is social services. So if you're receiving any type of government benefit, Medicaid, food stamps, all of that, it's highly likely that those things will be no more. And to raise taxes on the working class and give tax breaks to the wealthy is ass backwards. It makes zero sense at all.
I want to clarify what you said because it implies MAGA appointees, but his proposals convert thousands of the career civil servants into political appointees. So obviously he's going to appoint them himself, and they in turn will probably be his supporters. But instead of being publicly appointed like aldermen and whatnot, those people, he would appoint them.
Mm-hmm.
So the argument that I had, this goes back to saying about the 4th May. He is laying out all of the characteristics of a person who wants ultimate control, like a dictator.
A dictatorship.
Yeah, he's absolutely laying out.
That's what we're up against, because he said something like, "Oh, this will be the last time. You won't have to worry about this anymore."
He's going to reconstruct the Constitution to get rid of the term limits. He said all this stuff. Like,
and he's saying that out loud, and people are like, "Yeah, like, are you listening?" Now, here's the crazy part. Let's do another segue. People are going so gung ho for this man when the people who are in his family and some of the people that are part of the Republican Party themselves are openly saying that they don't even support him. Now we have one or two. I know we have the one with the family, and then it's the one with the former governor.
Yeah, I got that.
But we don't have to. This one is probably going to be enough. So this is his own family member. Let's watch this.
Politics.
Yeah.
And without question, Kamala Harris's policies are what I get behind. So I will be voting for Kamala Harris.
We're going to start it over, y'all. If you listen in audio, sorry. We're going to start it over.
And if I'm asked, I will campaign. I believe in policy over politics.
Yeah.
And without question, Kamala Harris's policies are what I get behind. So I will be voting for Kamala Harris. And if I'm asked, I will campaign for her without hesitation.
Good.
Now, this is his nephew, and I like what he said, because he said that he believes in policy over politics. And that's why I'm so confused, because with the individuals that are on his side, it's like, are you even realizing the policies, or is this just a popularity contest? Is this only politics for you? Like the policies, if you get down to the nitty gritty, like how are you still moving forward and supporting this person, especially when a lot of these policies might very well affect you as an individual or your family? It makes no sense. Mm-hmm. If you want to, if not, we don't have to. Okay. We're going to play another video. The video that he's queuing up now is from a former lieutenant governor, and he's actually in the Republican Party. And he was doing an interview, and he expressed his thoughts on it.
Jeff, are you formally endorsing her? Would you like to speak at the convention?
Well, look, I've said this before, including on this show, that I am committed to beating Donald Trump for all the right reasons. I'm willing to make the 4-year investment into the Republican Party to fix us, to heal us. We are a better party without Donald Trump. And I know millions of Republicans don't see that, but they will one day. They'll be embarrassed that they took the bait and followed Donald Trump down a dark path for our party. And so I'm committed. And if that means endorsing, speaking for, voting for, waving a sign, whatever. I don't agree with Kamala Harris on everything. I didn't agree with Joe Biden on everything. I don't agree with my wife on everything. But I am committed to this country. And I think the best, actually, she doesn't agree with me on everything. I think that's probably the better way to put it.
Let's be candid. Any spouse who says they agree with the
steps.
other on everything is definitely not telling the truth. Maybe for marital harmony, but still not telling the truth. Sorry, continue.
No, look, I'm willing to eat a little bit of humble pie here to do the right thing. And the right thing is to beat Donald Trump. I couldn't help but think what would have happened if Donald Trump would have done what Joe Biden did yesterday a few months ago. If he would have done the decent thing, the thing that we all know makes sense, and that's to step away from the job of being the nominee. We would be a better party for it. I've been behind the curtain with Donald Trump. Everybody who's been behind the curtain with Donald Trump and watched him make decisions know that, he's reckless on a good day and dangerous on a bad day. And that's probably the most optimistic way to put it.
And so with him saying that, again,
Is it dangerous on a?
well, he said he's dangerous on a good day.
He's reckless on a good day.
And dangerous on a bad day.
That was perfect.
I mean, perfect. Reckless on a good day and dangerous on a bad day. And this is the person that y'all want over an entire country. Now, the thing that I appreciated the most about what he said, he was super honest. And he said, I do not agree with everything that either one of them says, but I want to do what's right. And that's what we all need to come together and do. We all need to take it as serious as these people, these political officials, just like him, taking it serious. He himself is saying, this is not right. I have been in a room with this man making decisions. This is what they're saying. Like, he's so unprofessional. And to me, he's an embarrassment to put in front of the world stage and have in charge. Like, that is embarrassing. Like, America is already ghetto enough. Like, let's just call it what it is. But you add him to it? Are you freaking kidding me? No, absolutely not.
Can we add another embarrassing moment?
Oh God!
If it's congresswomen of color who were American citizens, to go back to where they came from, you have used words like animal and rabbit to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much, and and I say this, historically black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke, and I saved them, and I gave them long-term financing, and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here, and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom, and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late. Just so we understand, I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working, or something was wrong.
Mr. President, I would love
I think
if you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the question
nasty
on your rhetoric
question.
and why you
I have
believe that
answered
black
the
voters
question.
should trust you with another 4
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln.
He gave niggas a stimulus check, and that's the reason why they clapping in the background and going so hard for him, because he gave niggas a $1,200 check.
He's the best
Because he gave y'all a stimulus
since
check.
Abraham Lincoln. Since the slaves were freed.
That annoyed me so bad. So Tommy sent me the YouTube video at live. We watched this live and then color.
That was the first
it
question.
Was the most.
That was the first question. That's how the whole.
It was the
and that
most
was the,
disrespectful.
That was the black
unprofessional.
Was it the black?
The National Association. Let's talk about that too. So it was a National Association of Black Journalists. They're receiving a lot of backlash from like our community for that. So not only is he receiving it, but they're receiving it as well. And the reason why is because people are saying, first of all, why did you invite him there? Like, we didn't ask for this. Why did you do that? And then there were a lot of fellow journalists. They were saying that the way that they structured like the entire thing and the way that the questions was asked, like that was not good on their end. So they're like, of course it's not good on his side, but as far as the way the journalists conducted and kind of did what they did, it was a no. So they're getting a lot of backlash for that.
I think
like they said he should have never been there.
I think they interacted like we do. We get petty, and the pettiness in us was like, let's invite him. If he takes it, let's go for it. And he accepted it. Like that,
and made a mockery of it.
Well, like she opened up with why she did it, because he calls the black journalist that he's in contention with stupid. Their questions are stupid. They're racist. He mistreats them all over the place that we probably don't know. So I know she had an agenda. I felt like the first one had an agenda.
Yeah, I think that was Rachel.
Yeah, that was Rachel. Put her fine at.
He clearly he must have. I don't know if he rubbed her the
wrong
thought
way.
He was getting flirty, but when you explained the history, he probably was just messing with her. You could tell she was not a fan.
She's not a fan.
Rightfully so.
And she is from ABC News, so you see what he said. Like,
yeah, he was super shady. But I mean, even then, like super unprofessional. From what I understand, they're supposed to have Kamala there, I think next month. It'll be her turn, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But I just
he didn't have to accept it.
So since we are talking about the NABJ, let's play the other video of him there. Let's get that out the way.
Find it, sir. Do you believe that Vice President Kamala Harris is only on the ticket because she is a black woman?
Well, I can say no. I think it's maybe a little bit different. So I've known her a long time indirectly, not directly very much, and she was always of Indian heritage, and she was only promoting Indian heritage. I didn't know she was black until a number of years ago when she happened to turn black, and now she wants to be known as black. So I don't know, is she Indian or is she black?
She is always identified as a black woman. She went to a historically black college.
I respect either one, but she...
Oh, I forgot to mention she went to Howard University. Yeah, she went to Howard University. How did I forget that? Yes, that's where she went.
She went to Howard University.
She went to law school in California, but Howard University.
And pledged Alpha Kappa Alpha at Howard University, which is
a historically black college.
And also where Alpha Kappa Alpha was founded. So she went to the school and pledged at with the sorority where it was founded, which historically, if you are of Greek background and you pledge at the organization's home school, it is not an easy task to actually pledge at the home school.
Why not?
Because everybody wants to be.
And Tommy is an Alpha, by the way.
I am Alpha Pi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. 1906, Cornell University. There's a prestige. There's an honor of pledging at the school's original place of origin. It's just an honor. Like, hey, I'm not only an AKA. I pledged at the school that AKA was founded at. So,
yeah. Like, imagine being able to say that. Like, that's dope.
Just imagine being able to say that with the history that goes with it. And, those people hold it to high regard. So when they do that, they probably make it a little bit more difficult for you. It's not a cakewalk.
Right. I can imagine.
So if she was faking black, there's no way that she would have made it.
It would have broke down way earlier.
It would have broke down
way
earlier.
earlier.
You can't fake black at a black college pledging a black
And somebody has said, like,
it wasn't honorary either. She's an
yeah.
AKA.
And somebody's like, well, you don't have to be black to go to a HBCU. White people can go there too. And I'm like,
That's true. Yep, and they reap the benefits that we do when we go to white colleges. They get minority scholarships. Anybody talk about that shit? That's why they go. I remember I took Taj down to Tennessee State. We were down there, and there was so many white people walking around there. Like, what the hell is going on here?
And why?
Because they got minority scholarships. They were able to get minority scholarships because they were the minority of the campus. They would take advantage of that. Yes.
Because y'all ain't have, especially in Tennessee, because you ain't had nowhere else you could go.
Hey.
You had nowhere else. That's
can't knock the hustle.
That you can actually, but yeah. But let's turn that a little funny. So you know how he said she turned black, like you could just turn your black on and off. Do you turn your black off? You know what? I don't know if I could be this kind of funny though. I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
I feel like I know the answer. Do you turn your black off sometimes?
On the phone.
Where else?
I don't turn my black. I don't turn it off. It's impossible to turn it off because I'm black. But
depending on what music is on, he might do a little switcheroo.
I don't turn black. I love music, so it don't matter if it's white or black. So,
but if it's white, he gonna go hard.
Hey, don't do me. Don't do me.
Hair blowing in the wind.
Don't do me.
Let's
what's Tommy laughing at?
Because she know I'm telling her. I be telling Tommy he's really a white man. Okay, well, speaking of turning black.
Wait.
No, we don't have to explain. We said enough.
Nope.
No, because you're finna explain. We said what we said.
No. Growing up in the 80s, black music wasn't always readily played like it is right now. We are in the age of music being overly accessible to everybody. Back then we had limited radio stations, limited TV stations. So when you turn on the radio, you listen to what was on, and that was what you listened to. It was very rare that you got black music.
Who's your favorite white artist?
Steely Dan.
What's your favorite white song?
I got a lot of them.
What's your favorite? Like, say you driving Amazon, the wind blowing through your curls. What's on the radio?
Everybody Wants to Rule the World. Or Tears for Fears.
Hmm?
And you know what? I'm not the only one though. I'm guarantee I'm not the only one.
I'm sure you're not. You're the only one I know.
Hey, put it on your page. How many people know this song?
For those of you who don't know, TDR used to have like a radio show at night, and Tommy used to DJ maybe like once a week. And he did a theme one night where he did like
white songs that black people love.
Yes. And had a full like show, y'all. Like, it was a thing.
There were songs that we thought they were so good. They're like, oh, are they white? Oh, that's
like I guess you wonder where I've been.
All right.
That one? Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, so in the interest of him talking about turning black, play that video.
I came here to let you know.
See, here he go. There go that white man.
Gotta think.
Mama, there go that white man.
And I can't let go. Which one?
That's Tommy.
Which one am I playing?
The one next to his nephew. Yep. All right. We're gonna play this. Absolutely hilarious.
Half Colombian, but for the purposes of this panel, I guess I will be black. How do you think Vice President Harris handled her response to Trump?
I think that this is an amazing moment in American TV history because we can all tell the audience at that time we turned black. For me, it was about 99, 2000 when I first heard Juvenile's Back That Ass Up and I had a rhythmic cadence to my dance. At that moment, I knew I was black. But look, I just think Kamala did what she was supposed to do.
That man said a rhythmic cadence. I love Negroes. He said, I did not expect that conversation to go that way.
I love
he
that
said he had a rhythmic cadence.
I love that we do and can and are comfortable doing it.
Right. So yeah, what's that post right there with the guy with his arm up? Is that yours?
No, some dude saying Jesus. You said some dude singing Jesus.
No, that was for you.
Oh, that's not for
Oh my God, please don't. I said you was gonna find that funny. It was something. It was
we
like
gonna watch
song.
it live.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Okay. No.
Well, this is Simone Biles.
No.
Oh, what is this one right
That's
here?
not a Well, I mean, no, not Tom here.
Who is this dude right here?
That is NLE Chopper. I don't remember what that post is, but hey, let's play it.
Let's go.
Bryson Potts here. Today I ain't on no NLE Chopper shit right now, and I just came here with a little message for y'all. I know it's a lot of people that don't know like who they want to vote for in this season. I wanted to make this video just to inform certain people. First and foremost, I feel that we give the president a little bit too much power in our life, and we throw too much expectations on the president. It might sound quite a bit confusing. The president's job is to enforce the laws written by the Senate. Secondly, this is their most efficient job, is to be head and control of the military. The things that we really yearn and are looking for are in the House of Representatives and the Senate. And you have your mayor. So you got 2 senators in each state. These are the people that control the laws. Congress is under the legislative branch. Before the president can get anything approved, it has to go through the legislative, has to go through the executive branch, and it also has to go through the judicial branch. Most of the power is in your state. Find the people that make the laws, change the laws, and let's come together as a community and see, can we change these things? Because if you get enough votes, if you get enough people to stand behind something, it will change. We have to do our job because we put a lot of expectation on the president. You know what I'm saying? We as the people got to unite, stand together, and stand firm on things we want to change in the state so laws can change, schools can be better, rent can go down, whatever the hell we want to change that we feel is outlandish or outrageous is really in.
Shut up.
So you said shut up?
Yes. You pissed me off.
So, and the reason I wanted to put that on is because I saw that video after I saw the post that I read to you from Sway Lee. And Sway Lee was talking about the stimulus check and talking about how Kamala is not black and how it's just like, just shut up and rap. Now, the thing with NLE Chopper is he's a rapper, but he's also one of the ones that he does speak out on a lot of issues. He tends to be one of the ones that he's a bit more positive. Like he'll do yoga and he'll talk about grounding. He'll talk about real shit occasionally. Of course, his BS kind of mixed in there every so often, but in the message that he just said, I do believe that some of what he said is true.
It is
as far
true.
As it pretty much knowing what each of these people that we put in office do, and if you have certain issues, this is where you need to go. And I do feel like that education is important.
But this isn't that.
Right.
I understand what he's saying.
Yeah.
I said shut up because
so now is not the time for that.
Nah, it's not the time for that because Donald Trump uses executive order to bypass all that shit. So all that shit is true.
Yeah.
But he comes in and makes an executive
And
order
wipe it all
and
out.
he can do what he wants to do. That's why he's dangerous. That's why we don't want. So that is true. So what he's saying is advocating for you to go out and vote for the person who's going to abide by the rules, how they are set in place. Or they'll have the alternative of having Donald Trump and say, you know what, I don't like that rule, executive order. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yes, that was very intelligent. Yes, he actually went through the
And I'd rather hear
government.
that than hear a rapper talking about a stimulus check and how she not black. I agree. If I had to choose between the two, I'd rather hear this than to hear that because that is just dismissive.
I was stuck on the, that
I get it.
The president's job. Yes, that is the president's job when they're normal president.
But that's not what we're talking about right now.
That's when we have a normal president. If we have Barack Obama as a president, yes, that is the steps of how you do it. And it's in charge. It's up to us at the local level to vote in our senators that we prefer so that they can have a balance or not a balance or have a balanced thought process and not a bias. You want to have a balanced thought process at the Senate level. Donald Trump has the control to pick Supreme Court justices, which he's already picked 3.
Yep. And
is up to probably pick 2 more if he's elected. So he's going to have 5 of the 8 or 9. I forgot how many of the justices there are.
I want to say 9.
9.
But
I think it's an odd number.
Wrong.
So 5, damn near 50% of them he selected, which is dangerous. And the one thing that actually happened, we didn't even get to talk about it. 3 hostages were released last
I
night.
saw that. I went to go work out this morning, and we might be talking about the different things. Are you talking about the ones from overseas? They did a prisoner swap.
Yes, they did a prisoner swap.
Yeah, those people were in jail for years, as far as I understand.
There are some that were there for years.
And they've been negotiating this entire time.
And that happened because of Joe Biden and his diplomacy and his ability to go and talk to other countries.
And this is not the first swap. You figure what Brittany Griner wasn't
Brittany
she?
Griner was one, yeah.
And then it was a few, and it was some before then.
So this is the problem. Russia is basically arresting people and using it as leverage.
Yeah.
To barter and trade and get their people that are of higher crimes out of jails. The Russian people that were in jail are not they're not just they're not in the jurisdiction where Americans are like, we can let them out. They're like in Germany. Right. So you have to negotiate with Germany and other countries to be like, hey, we have our people over there. Can we let this person? So they let out a hitman, hire hitman from Russia.
I remember that. Yeah.
And Germany was like, fine, because it's basically because Joe, you my guy. I'm gonna do that.
Didn't they trade they wanted Brittany back, and so they released him.
No, they let go of Wall Street.
He was a
reporter.
a whistleblower or something. I know what she's talking about.
These people were just reporters.
Random, yeah.
They were just random reporters. They weren't doing anything. They were accused of being spies. So he let them.
And one thing that they said with this prisoner swap that happened is they said that it also had to do with the good relationships that Biden had with those countries.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So to have diplomacy and a reputation to be able to actually negotiate these things with other countries is that's one of the jobs of the president.
Now imagine
do you think Donald Trump would have been able to actually negotiate?
Imagine him.
Oh, well, would he have?
Because
he's friends with Putin, so that's his guy. So
that alone,
that's
scare the hell out of you.
That's dangerous in itself.
That alone is dangerous and reckless.
So when I saw that, I was like, yeah, having diplomacy and having the foreign policy perspective and being able to actively appoint people who are going to do the Supreme Court system justice. Those are because everything else, like the guy said, NBA, what's his name?
NLE Chopper.
NLE Chopper. I don't know his name. He was right. Yes. There's limits and being in charge of the armed forces when not. Yes, that is. But who would you rather have in charge of armed forces? Somebody with some sense?
Absolutely.
Or somebody who just pops off like Donald Trump? I mean, it comes down simple as that.
I mean, if you want to make it simple, it's really as simple as that. And before we go to our last segment, what I want to do is, for those of you, I do understand everybody listening or watching might not necessarily be in Wisconsin, but it's very important for us to get out and vote. So do whatever it is that make sure that you're registered, make sure that you are all set up and ready to go. Your job can't tell you that you can't have time off to vote. They can't do that. That's illegal. Make sure that you look up the voting laws in the area that you live in. But for Wisconsin in particular, it is extremely important. Wisconsin is one of the, I think, 13 swing states, aka battleground states, right? So if you don't know what that means, well, let's take a quick lesson from, I think, U.S. government. Not exactly sure, but in a swing state, that basically means that particular area can go either way. Mm-hmm. It can either go all blue for Democrat or it can go all red for Republican. So it's very important for the candidates to visit those particular states because you want to swing the people over to your side.
And historically, they have been known to go both ways. They don't have a distinctive, it's not a Republican state. It's not a Democrat state.
For sure.
We've elected
Hillary
Democrats and we've elected Republicans. It's not.
Yeah. Now, if you think about the election with Hillary and Trump back in 2016, was it? I think it was 2016. Yes. She really didn't focus on Wisconsin as much as she should have, which was something that she did regret. But she lost Wisconsin, and it was mainly because she lost Milwaukee. She lost Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee is the largest county in this state. Mm-hmm. So, she did a Johnson Control commercial, and she kind of did little stuff. But when it came to her campaign, I think her vice president, whoever's going to be her vice president at the time, which I forget who that was. I forget who it was.
Vice president.
I forget who was going to be her vice president. I believe they came here, but she really didn't put a lot of emphasis on it. And because of that, she lost Milwaukee County and she essentially lost the state of Wisconsin. So when you see them going to Wisconsin and Minnesota, Virginia,
Tim
Georgia,
Kaine. I forgot Tim
like
Kaine.
Who?
Tim Kaine.
Okay, well, I would have never remembered.
Yeah, I
Never.
forgot.
I didn't remember what he looked like. When you see them kind of focusing on those areas, that's the reason why. So you have states like California. California is usually primarily Democrat. But then you have Texas. Texas has been kind of interesting over the last few years. Texas is mainly pretty much all Republican. But there was an election in Texas a few years ago where Texas was very close. And I don't remember what election it was. Texas was very close to being kind of blue. And that's something that had not happened in a very long time. I don't remember what election it was. I know I was living there at the time, but Texas was very close. Florida, surprisingly, has kind of come a very small amount close. So you do have states like that it might be a smidge, but it's still like primarily Republican. But that just goes to show you that we here in Wisconsin, especially in Milwaukee, have a duty to get out and vote. Like, please do not think your vote does not count. It most certainly does, especially in a state like Wisconsin that can go either way. So make sure that you plan in advance. For the November election, the deadline to register, I think, is October 6th. So if you are not registered, make sure that you get that done. If you need a ride, there will be people offering rides. Make sure you know your laws and your rights so that when you get to the poll, if it's some like weird stuff going on that you know ain't supposed to be going on, you know what your rights are. Make sure you have your documents in order. Like, please vote. Now is really not the time to play. Like, this is serious as hell, and we need to take it that way. You know, we forgot to talk about, a lot of people have been trying to figure out who Kamala's running mate is going to be. So she met with a few people, supposedly. So she met with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear, and then the Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Out of that whole list, I know Pete the most. I've heard of him before because he was actually, I thought that he was running for president, but maybe he ended up losing something or he dropped out. I think he was running for president at some point. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Pete is also, I think he's gay, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be wrong.
What state is Pete?
Oh, he's the transportation secretary, so it don't say what state he is.
Oh, okay.
What are you looking for?
The number of delegates, and I wanted to make sure I had the number of delegates per state. And
you mean right with the electoral college?
The electoral college, you're right.
So you need a total number for the electoral college. Basically, what that is they take a certain amount of delegates from each state, and those delegates are on the U.S. Senate. And depending on the size of the state, they have a certain amount. The not monkey wrench, but the extra detail here is DC. I think they have two or three extra than everybody else. It's like they do it differently in DC. But basically those people vote for who they will want to be president, and that makes up the 270 votes for the electoral college. So on election night, when you see the ticker running across and you see like the number with them trying to get to 270, whoever gets to, I don't know if they have to be at exactly 270. I think it's whoever has the most, if I'm not mistaken. But this is all U.S. government. I know it's been a while since a lot of us been in school, but a quick little Google search will kind of let you know so that you can figure out the numbers and stuff. But long story short, it's important. Get out there and do what you need to do. We're going to start wrapping this thing up. So for my WTF segment, we are going to end it on a wishy-washy note. And I'm going to tell you why it's wishy-washy. Because we talk a lot of stuff about how America is ghetto and how we don't want to live here. We want to live in another country, all that. But the 2024 Olympic Games are going on right now in Paris. And we're all like, go USA, red, white, and blue. Real wishy-washy. But that's neither here nor there. I have a fun fact for you all. I don't know if you knew this, but my producer is also the unofficial correspondent for the 2024 Olympic Games. And he has been taking his job very seriously. He has been on Peacock, and they also Peacock needs to be giving you some type of check or something. Because
my daughter said that this morning.
You've been riding for Peacock.
Can I explain why?
Real hard. With very good reason, because you've been showing me a lot of stuff that. So we're going to talk about the Olympics for a little bit, and the unofficial correspondent is going to update us on some of the things that he's been watching, and he is going to give us a few things that he has learned. And the U.S. has been doing very good. I think China is in the lead for the most medals. No, the most gold medals. And the U.S. is in the lead currently for the most medals received overall, if I'm not mistaken.
That is true.
Okay.
So true.
My question for you is, what is the most exciting Olympic game that you've seen in the last, 16 days? I don't know how many days in we are, but.
The most exciting?
Yes.
Women's rugby.
Really?
Women's rugby.
So random.
It is very random. I learned a lot more about rugby than I understood. It's a very short game, actually. It's very much like football, but also very much like soccer at the same time. At any given moment, someone just break away and score. And at one point, I believe the women won the bronze medal for rugby. That's the first time winning a medal. Or did they win gold? I can't remember. Anyway, they won a medal. They medal. And
you
that
said
was
it's like football?
Huh?
You said it's like what sport?
It's like like football and soccer kind of put together.
It was at the game where the girl took the ball and like ran all the way across the field.
Yes, yeah.
And then the other people were crying or something.
That was you saw that. That was
so the other people were. Was that Brazil?
That
they had on green or something. I think it was Brazil.
No, that was New Zealand, I believe.
New Zealand. Okay. Yeah, that was a big thing. I didn't know what was going on, and then I saw her, and I was like, "Oh, I guess she did something good." I was like, "Why is everybody crying?"
Right. Well, because they were winning until the last.
That was dope. Then I saw a clip of that.
No, that was Australia. I'm sorry.
It was Australia.
It was Australia.
Australia won.
Australia lost. They
lost. They lost to the U.S.
Yeah.
Because the girl took the ball and she ran a very long time.
Well, they were winning 12-5 or something like that. They were winning. They were winning.
And then she did like a field goal or something. And then I guess that was it. Or they did something. They kicked something or something went where
that score was as high.
Wow.
That she tied the score with that run, and then the kick was the winning kick.
Now, what is something interesting that you saw or you learned that you didn't know?
I didn't know that Puerto Rico was competing as a country, even though that they are as a territory United States. And I always thought that's
interesting.
I thought, I was like, because I saw Puerto Rico and I was like, why do they have Puerto Rican shirts? How come they're not playing for United States?
Yeah.
Well, they have the right to actually join as an independent and recognized by the International Olympic Committee to compete.
Imagine if America had the option to go independent and not have
a state
somebody in charge.
A state can.
Yeah, Texas.
They can go over there and be like, no, they can literally go to the Olympic Committee and be like, hey, we don't want.
No, I'm talking about in general.
I know. Right, doing their own thing.
Yeah. Okay. One thing that you posted that I thought was extremely interesting was the fact that the people that were doing surfing, they're not in Paris, they're in Tahiti.
Yeah, they're in like French Polynesia, which makes sense. I guess they're Tahiti. I didn't know that Tahiti.
That picture was so dope too.
I don't even know what that was. This dude was just like, I think he won and just hopped off his surfboard and looked like he was floating in the air.
But you've been watching badminton. You were really excited about track and field today.
Track and field.
And with Peacock, you were watching it like 4 things at once.
They have a multi-view. They have a track and field multi-view, so you can see 4 different events at the same time. They're all on the screen, and you can just click the box, and it'll make it your full screen. But otherwise, you can keep it and watch all 4 at the same time. And when you move the screen to highlight the one you want to see, that audio pops up. and everything else cuts off.
Then let's talk about gymnastics. So it seems like the men's games were not as exciting as the women. I mean, rightfully so.
We really don't talk a lot about.
We never talk about. I couldn't name to you a male gymnast, a man gymnast.
I mean, there's a dude named Fred. There's a black dude. There's a black dude named Fred this year, and he was holding the team down this year because other members were a little shaky.
But shout out to Simone, shout out to Jordan, Sonny, shout out to them. First of all, let's take a step back. Shout out to Beyonce. Because did y'all see Beyonce in the Olympic opening?
No,
she looked good as hell.
I didn't see the opening.
She looked amazing. She looked so good. She called America complicated, very rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Also, I'm very excited about Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg been out there doing his big one. He been carrying them torches. He been learning how to swim with Michael Phelps. And then I also want to play this video because this I thought was super dope as well. I think this is the one. Go ahead.
About to show my body, love freak, how the is that your man? If he right here with me, turned up with my, turned up in my shows, yeah, cause I got that blicky. 60,000 fans came to see me do my dance. Got 1,000,001 haters, and y'all can kiss my. Turned up with my, turned up in my shows, yeah, cause I'm right here with me.
He is out there having the time of his life, and I love every bit of that.
Shout out to Ralph Lauren.
Why?
They outfit all of the Olympians.
Wait, they did those bodysuits for the gymnasts?
I don't know if they did that. I'm talking about for the opening ceremony, and then
they looked good.
The jackets, the Ralph Lauren jacket, they fly as shit every time they come out.
I saw the opening ceremony. They looked. It was pouring down raining, which absolutely sucks. But they looked amazing.
I was watching the basketball today, and Dwayne Wade and some other guy was commentating, and they both have polos.
The blazers.
No, they just had regular polos, and the polo was all over.
That is dope. I didn't know that they did that.
Olympics, yes, they
had them looking real good.
They got top notch gear. Like every time they come out, they swagged out.
I saw a video with the gymnasts going through all of the outfits that they were going to wear for the 16 days, and they looked. Those outfits looked amazing. I don't know where they came from, but those girls looked really good.
Yeah, the real track and field stuff hasn't started yet, though.
Gotcha.
They haven't.
I can tell you the last time I watched an Olympic game.
Really?
No, probably I might have honestly been like a kid.
Well, I mean, and it's different now because growing up, like I said,
like you've actually been like invested.
Well, growing up, you only had they showed what they wanted to show you.
I think that's what it was. They showed us what they wanted to show us.
Every so often, you show a pop up. You see track and field. You see gymnastics. And
that was it.
The highest rated things were the things that they would show.
And you didn't see anything else.
You might see some swimming. You might see something.
Oh yeah, you know what? That's what I remember. It's the swimming and the gymnastics. And basketball.
And now
I don't remember anything else.
I watched.
You watching badminton?
Yeah, I watched archery. Some dude was they were stuff I didn't even know I would want to watch. They skateboarding. Like you said, surfing. I was watching surfing. I was trying to figure out where they were.
That was cool that you figured that out.
Oh, the nastiest thing is the triathlon, where they're doing that in France. They're not doing that anywhere. They're doing that in France.
So they jump. Oh, I think they're jumping in that river.
In that river.
And they said that river is disgusting depending on what's going on at that time.
France is older than dirt, so they said it's clean. It's clean to swim in, but
I don't believe that. If they couldn't surf in it,
well, they can't surf in it because it's a river. It doesn't have any waves, so they need waves. Anyway,
well, I really appreciated your commentary on the Olympics. I actually look forward to it because it's very interesting.
Oh, I'm glad.
So thank you for keeping us all updated on what's going on.
What I'm sharing is because I'm just learning it too, so it's not like I knew it. Like,
it's fun. It's been fun facts. Like, oh damn! Like now I know that y'all was in Tahiti. I would have never knew that.
Right? Yeah. I sure was like, I know it's hot there, but I don't know what ocean they are. Ain't no ocean in Paris.
Well, who would have knew?
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, so that concludes our episode with Conversations with Coco. I have some exciting things coming for you all down the pipeline. I think for my next 2 episodes, I am gonna have a guest, or guest with us. I have had some things on my list for a while that I need to kind of get off. As always, I do appreciate you all for the love and the support that you give me and my projects. I feel like I have so many moments where I am confirmed as far as what I'm doing, and that it's what I'm doing is a good thing. I have enjoyed the topics that I talked about, the good ones, even the ones that have been difficult for me. And that's because you all receive the information so well and you give the most amazing feedback. I've received so many sweet messages, especially since the last episode that I did. And that basically lets me know that the timing was perfect, and that though it was difficult to kind of put all of that out there, it was worth it because it really helped way more people than I could have expected, and the response was overwhelming. So I appreciate your continued support. You watching me, you listening to me. And yeah, until next time, I'm gonna call y'all back. Have a good night.
Can you rewind your exit real quick and say that one more time after I say this? I'm sorry. I want to
rewind what, the whole thing?
No, I'm gonna call you back thing. Just
Okay.
just hold on a second. I just want to say, watch CNN, watch Fox News, and make your own decision based off of what you hear on both sides. Do not just listen to black people online. Don't just listen to white people in the news. Get a very, very educated understanding of what's going on and make a really, really educated decision.
And we are also, I know I did this show today and it's early August. I mean, I would say from here all the way up until we might even learn new information, end up doing a part 2. It's going to be something that we're constantly going to keep drilling into people. We're not trying to fearmonger. We're just trying to make sure that people make informed decisions and we do what's right. That's the main goal.
All right. Now,
but yeah, I'm going to call y'all back.